And as a company, as much as we like people, they may be a better fit for somebody else. There's other organizations that are different sizes, that are different volume levels, that don't use technology. We do. It doesn't mean that they're bad people. They just may fit better somewhere else, and we're okay with that. Each employee signs a commitment letter. We sign it personally. I don't want anybody to feel like we're just putting something out there. I put these examples in because these are everything that we use for our company, and you'll see this in your handout. It's this sheet right here. It's called Employee Performance Standards. And what's on here is it says each of us as a company participate in this. And I write down what their objectives are down here at the bottom. 1, 2, or 3. And I write out what their good goal is. They're very good. They're outstanding. And below it, I write how much money they are going to get if they hit that. And then we sign it. They sign it, we sign it. It's a contract between us. Every quarter. Every quarter we get it out. And we say, I promise to pay you this. This is how we're going to measure it. We agreed upon the tool. We agreed you can go into the system and pull it. This is the measuring tool. You hit these numbers, we'll pay. Every quarter. And then I'll also tell you this. I will change this goal with you if you don't think it's fair. We work together to make it fair. Why do I say we change the goal? I'll tell you this. 85% of my business is under the Medicare umbrella. Right now with healthcare reform, they're talking about a 10% cut in our pay. 10% off the bottom line. How does that impact us as a company? We have these performance standards in place. Well, I have to tell you, everybody knows that this 10% is coming. So how am I going to make this work? I certainly can't keep paying you the same if we're not getting paid the same. So our standards may have to change. We may have to work some things around. We may have to look at things differently. As a company, we're making less money. How does that happen? Some goals won't change. Some will. We as a company may have to say that the bonus level is still there, but it may be less because we're getting less. But guess what? In the good times, you're getting more. If we can become more efficient, or if you're more creative in the way that we take care of people. And I challenge our people this right now. You know, one of our biggest costs is our people. More than 50% of our entire cost of our company is going out and seeing patients. We're a service-based organization. Can you come up with a more creative way to take care of our patients? I don't want less care. I won't accept less quality of care for our patients. Not an option. But what I will accept is, can you figure out a way to do the same thing you're doing with less cost? You be creative. You know what one of them came back with? This was a great challenge. You know what one of them came back with is, why do we do so many visits for these high users of home care? And I said, well, what do you mean? I said, you know, they need more care, so we go out. And they said, you know that if we put a device in their home that measures their weight and their blood pressure every day and sends it in on a computer, we can have a nurse call them on the phone and say, hey, this is what's going on. Are you taking your blood pressure medicine? All the same things. We could just do it over the phone. We don't actually have to do a visit. And we could actually be in the patient's home even more often through the phone and through this device and then send less people up. Great. I love that idea. They start being part of the business. They start being creative and making the difference and make things fair. You know what? We have a lot of really bright, smart people that we work with. I just never have given them the opportunity in the past to come up with creative ways to run our business better. Nobody knows their job better than them. They do it every day. You come up with a creative way. The recognition is so powerful, it would blow you away. I mean, it really is powerful. People are so proud of it when they're an outstanding performer, and we recognize them like crazy. And we put it up. We say these are outstanding performer, this many quarters in a row. I mean, we don't do the opposite, which is shine a light on someone who's not a good performer. We shine a light on when people do things good. And I'm telling you, the recognition alone is incredibly powerful. People love it. They love it. We get them up in front of everybody. We talk about what they did, how they're a star performer, how they made a huge difference in our company. It's powerful. It's very, very powerful. How do we keep this going? I'm fast forwarding to today. Each of our employees sign these commitment letters. I said we hold a quarterly all-staff meeting. We recognize them. We conduct quarterly leadership reviews. This is probably the thing that I spend the most time on. along with my colleagues that are on our leadership team. We go over this. I can't tell you this is their favorite because we literally spend so many hours on it and we challenge each other. We may have someone who's in operations who's challenging the financial person of your goals may not be strong enough. Or the financial person saying for quality, well, your quality measures, I've looked online and I found that there's better quality measures somewhere else in the country. We say we're in the top 10%, we're paying in the top 10% in the country. Why aren't your numbers there? How are you going to improve? And so it's their job to kind of go back and come up with creative ways, and we're always challenging each other in a good way. I mean, we're all going for the same goal. And someone said, how does this thing work? It comes down to what do you believe in? We always come to this. I wrote down our 8 core beliefs of our company. This is what we care about. And then our mission and vision. And we always go back to this whenever we're putting together this EPS program. We don't want to deviate from what we care about. This is what we care about. We said this from the beginning. We're not deviating from that. We're not going to cut things back so that we can't hit our core values. This is what we care about. And it's got to stay within these parameters. Remember the sandbox? And I told you can't go outside. This is one thing that's non-negotiable. If it's outside our 8 core beliefs or our vision and our mission of our organization, then we can't measure it that way. There are standards. You have to keep it within that. And then each employee undergoes a quarterly pipeline review. From the President's course, as a reminder, the pipeline is this. We as a leadership team come up with the ideas. We give it back down to everybody who is then measured on that. We say, we want you to come back and say, this makes sense or this doesn't make sense. And if you come up with a better way of being measured, let us know. They come back for it, they push it back up the line. We look at it and we say, wow, we never thought of that. But we like it, we're going to do it. But the problem is that if we measure someone like this, we have to interlink the goal, so then that means someone else has to change. So then we may change this person's goal, so we have to go back down and say, hey, look, what do you think about this? Okay? Because every single thing ties to each other. All of our goals are interlinked for the one common thing of trying to do what we're trying to accomplish as our organization. The system is not easy to get to the level that we have. Our leadership team has put in so many hours on this, it's unbelievable. Your finance guy is the driver. Just give me one second. The finance guy is the driver behind it. When I tell you that we pay 10 to 25% of our bonuses, or percentage of their pay and bonuses, you better figure out how to pay for that. That's no little amount of money when you're talking about hundreds and hundreds of employees. If it doesn't work financially, it doesn't work when it comes to a bonus system. Now, if you want to do the recognition side, you can, and it still does work. But when it comes to money, you've got to be able to figure it out, and it's got to be able to make the impact. So we weight people's goals differently. Even if we have 3, one of their goals may be weighted financially at 75 to 80%, but we're still measuring the other 2. Because in order to make the system work, in order to make the money work, you've got to really think about it. Again, the system has made some great results for us, but we put a lot of effort into it. It's different for everybody, and I think the challenge is there for you. If you'd like to do it,